TOD, your instruction 130436, Education Loan Repayment Program. Originating component authored under Secretary of Defense Personal Readiness effective September 12, 2008. Clear public release instruction available. The Director of the Division, ESD, White House, Mills, DOD. Incorporates and cancels under Secretary of Defense Personal Readiness Memorandum of the Education Loan Repayment Program guidance for the members specified by the Military Special Forces. Line Officer Program September 25, 2006. Assistant Secretary of Defense Reserve Affairs Memorandum Enhancement Reserve Component Incentive Program April 14, 2006. Crew Steve Barnum performing duties with the Undersecretary of Defense Personal Readiness, purpose and control of the Authority Department of Defense Directive 51-2402, issuance established policy assignment of responsible to identify, proceed with the implementation, education, loan, repayment, and accordance with Section 2171, 16301, 16303, Title 10, United States Code. Section 1 General Insurance and Issuance, Section 1 General Issuance Information Act, Policy, Responsibility, Assistant Secretary of Defense and Manpower, Reserve Affairs, the Director of Defense, Financing, Accounting Service, the Secretary of the Military Department's Commandments for the Commandment of the United States Coast Guard, Section 3 Procedure, Service Manager Eligibility, Regular Reserve Component Service Members other than service members of the Chaplain Candidate Program, Chaplain Candidates Health Professional Officer with Loan Eligibility, Amount repayable for its regular component members, reserve component members transfer between regular and reserve components for funding of a payment and recouplement. The glossary is 1, acronyms and definitions and references. General Issuance and Information Act, ability to issue with the Office of Secretary of Defense Military Departments, including with the Coast Guard at all times, including with the service of the Department of Homeland Security, with agreement of the Department Office of the Chairman of the Joint Chief of Staff, Joint Staff of the Combat Commanders, Office of the Inspector of the Department of Defense, of the Defense Agency of the Department of Defense Field, the activities of organizational entity with the DoD referred to collectively in the issuance of the DoD component loan repayment program is an incentive for the encouragement and enlisting affiliation or retention with the designated military career field, skill, specified periods for the obligated service of it in support of the DoD personnel requirements of the loan repayment program should be viewed as the most cost-effective advantage of the support of the management objectives. The issuance apply with the loan repayment program authorized Chapter 109, 1609, Title 10, United States Code, Civil Department of Defense Health Professional Loan Repayment Program, administrated under Section 2173, 16302 of the Title 10, United States Code, Educational Loan Repayment Program, Regular Reserve Component Health, Professional Officer for the Director of the DoD Instruction 6013 and DoD Instruction 1205 to 21, respectively. Section 2, Responsibly. Assistant Secretary of Defense of the Manpower Reserve of the Authority Direction of the Secretary of Defense of Personal Readiness of the Assistant Secretary of Defense of the Manpower Reserve Affairs, oversee with the Administrative of the Monitoring complying with the policy established in the issue with the development additional with the procedures required with the Undersecretary of Defense Personal Readiness and with the prescribed with the procedure of the Administrative of the Managing Education Loan Repayment Program. The Director of the Defense Financing and Accounting Service under the authority, direction, and control of the Undersecretary of Defense, Comptroller of the Chief Financial Officer of the Department of Defense, the Director of the Defense for the Financial Accounting Service to develop, publish regulation with the pertaining with the repayment of unearned bonuses similar to the benefit of the Volume 7 and 8 with the Department of Defense Financial Management Regulation 7014R. Chapter 2, the volume prescribed with the procedure of the disposition and repayment of the unearned with a portion of the educational loan repayment benefit of the procedure with apply with the unearned benefits provided with the Section 2171, 16301, 16303 through the Title 10 U.S. Code and the issuance of the Secretary of the Military of the Department and Commandment, United States Coast Guard, Secretary of the Military Department and Commandment of the U.S. Coast Guard with the implement and ensure to comply with the educational loan repayment to proceed with the outline in this issuance, specified military specialties eligible to the educational loan repayment program in accordance with Section 2171 and Title 10 United States Code, Section 16301, Title 10 U.S. Code. Prescribed with additional requirements and standards regulating regarding eligibility, recommended changes in the issue for the Undersecretary of Personal Readiness, so disseminate information regarding the educational loan repayment program to rate for the program and awareness service members of other eligible person implementation, proceed with the management of the scope of the obligation individual receiving the loan repayment, and 7. Ensuring all payback periods of the requirements contained within agreements with this issue with a recouplement measure for the implemented for the non-compliance review of the educational loan repayment program, proceed with the requirement condition with the described in Section 3 annual recommended changes. Section 3, Procedure. Service member eligibility, regular reserve component service members other than service members in chaplain candidate program, secretary of the military department concerned or the commandment U.S. Coast Guard may repay loans in case of any service members who possess of the skill of the specialty code with the identified with the secretary of the military department concerned with the combat U.S. Coast Guard with the eligible for the loan repayment program, signing a writing agreement to serve the activity selected reserved for the period special with the secretary of the military department concerned with the commandment over the U.S. Coast Guard, agree to serve with a member of the officer of the program and enlist of the military specialty specified in the Secretary of Military Department concerned with the commandment of the U.S. Coast Guard submit with a loan repayment requesting with the U.S. Department of Defense 2475 Education Loan Repayment Program Annual Application. Chaplain cadets, in accordance with Section 16303 with the B with the Title 10 United States Code, person serving in the chaplain candidate program is not eligible for the loan repayment according with the Secretary of the Military Department concerned with it may not repay with the repay educational loans for any service member enrolled in the chaplain cadet program unless the member is satisfied with the requirements accessing the commission over the chaplains as prescribed by the Department of Amendments Instruction 130428 holds or is fully qualified in employment as a chaplain in the reserve component signed with a written agreement. The Secretary of the Military Department concerned serve the period of not less than 3 years of the selected reserve submits the loan repayment request with the Department of Defense Form 2475 Health Professional Officer of the Department of the Department of Defense Health Professional Loan Repayment Program. It is not governed by the issuance paragraph 1-2 of the issuance loan eligibility. Secretary of the Military Department concerned with the commandment of the U.S. Coast Guard may only repay loans made by the service members and him or herself with the repayment and not authorize loans with the taken out with the other person on the behalf of service members. Loans agreement and repayment that must be made in service guaranteed in accordance with Section 1071, Title 20 United States Code, made under the William D. Ford Federal Direct Loan Program in accordance with Section 1087. Title 20 U.S. Code, make it according with Section 1087 AA, Title 20 United States Code, incur for the educational purposes of the made of the lender as an agency instrumental state with a financial credited institution, including insurance company that is subject to the examination supervision agency of the United States or any state with a pension with approval of the Undersecretary of the Defense personal readiness purpose for the provision, non-profit private entity designated by the state with the regulated by the state and approved of the Undersecretary of Defense and readiness for the purpose of the provision. Amount of repayable, the repayment eligible loan was made on the basis of each of the complete year service performed by service member or borrower. Regular component members portion amount of the loan will be repaid with 33 1/3% of the $1,500 or $1,500, whichever the greater for each year of service. The operation portion of the loan will be paid annually only upon completion of each of the year of the obligated service. The purpose of the agreement there is no statutory limit in the total amount that may be repaid. Military departments must clearly state what the total amount will be repaid with the second loan repayment agreement with the service member for the amount repaid will not exceed the value of the loan. Reserve components. Reserve component service members of the other than service member of the chaplain with the candidate program and the portion of the amount of the loan may be repaid with a 15% or $500, whichever the greater for each year of the service plus the amount with the interest of the may accrue with during the current year. Appropriate portion of the loan will be paid for the annually upon the completion of each of the year obligated service pursuant to the agreement that there is no statutory limit with the total amount that can be repaid. Military departments must clearly state the total amount to be repaid with a single loan repayment agreement and service member the amount repaid will not exceed the value of the loan. Service member and chaplain candidate program with the amount with the repayment of the loan under Section 3.2 for the behalf of the person will not exceed $20,000 for each 3-year period obligated service of the person agree with the service agreement as described in Section 31B3 with such amount with no more than an amount equal to 50% of the such amount with may be paid for the completion of by the person first year obligated service pursuant with the agreement. The basis balance of such amount must be payable at such a times are prescribed in the regulation. Transfer between regular and reserve components of service member eligible for the education loan repayment transfer between the regular reserve component during the year of the receipt of the financial repayment of the education loan with the department concerned to approve of the lender of each portion of the year served. Refunding repayment secretary of the military departments concerned over the commandment of the U.S. Coast Guard will open only repay with the outstanding loan basis. No part of the original loan balance previously being repaid will be refunded. 3.4. Recouplement. Service members who fail to meet the service obligation described in the paragraph 3.1 and 3.1b or 3.1a or 3.1b must repay with the unearned portion of his or her loan in accordance with Section 303a and 373 of Title 37 of the United States Code, Chapter 2, Volume 7 and 8, the Department of Defense Instruction 7014R. Glossary DOD acronyms, Department of DODI, Department of Defense Instruction, United States Code, USC, U.S. Coast Guard, USCG, Under Secretary of Defense Personal Readiness, Under PUSD, PNR. Then it goes into references under secondary defense personnel readiness, defensive financial management 7014R, military pay policy, active duty reserve pay, DoD Instruction 1205, 21 Reserve Component in some of the program procedures, Department of Defense Instruction 1304, 28 Guide to the deployment of chaplains of the military departments, 8 Department of Defense Instruction 6013 session, retention policy programs incentives, military health professional officer of the United States Code Title 10, Title 20, Section 1071, Title 20, Chapter 28, Chapter 5, 4, Title 30, United States Code Title 37. Alright, and that was DoD Instruction 130436 Education Loan Repayment Program.